Now, you mentioned earlier private equity, and we've had this discussion before. This is absolutely fascinating, how private equity impacts a company like your own. Tell us a little bit how that may have changed the way you operate or what you see, what impact that has on you.
Well, look, I think private equity is here to stay, and you don't need me to say that. I think corporations like KKR and Blackstone have been around a long time. I think it gets accelerated by the fact that interest rates have been relatively low and liquidity is just extremely, extremely high. There's more money today than good ideas, and that may exist for a while. I don't know how long that exists. So I think private equity clearly is a new factor. They're in some ways they're the corporations or the conglomerates of this decade anyhow in terms of what they do. We don't interface with them, I'd say, in 80% of the company. In other words, they don't play that much in the aircraft engines business and the healthcare business and things like that. In financial services, I mean, you look at the big EOP deal that was done yesterday. I mean, it's just a fascinating thing to watch. So, they provide liquidity for us to sell businesses. Occasionally, we compete with them on a financial service asset or something along those lines. But they're a reality, and I don't think they're good or bad. I just think it is what it is.
Actually, aren't they kind of good for you if you want to dispose of a line with all the liquidity that's out there?
I think that helps. I think that helps immensely in terms of where it goes. I think it takes. Look, there's no doubt that they take. They're an alternate investment that didn't exist 10 or 15 years ago. That takes equity and investors away from large cap stocks or stocks in general. So, they compete in some areas, they complement in some areas, but I think you're crazy if you have a job like mine and aren't really trying to figure out private equity and how it plays. If you think that it's just a flash in the pan or there's something wrong with it, I think the problem is yours. So we constantly try to figure out how to work with them and how to interface with them.
Now, but with all that liquidity out there, then there's a lot of concern about too much money chasing deals that aren't so good. So it seems like actually it would be quite good for a public company. Your plastics business, this one is interesting to me. This has been a very difficult industry for you. The earnings were down, I think, 49% in the last quarter. So you're selling the plastics business. The buyers, a number of the likely buyers, bidders, are private equity groups. Why does it make sense? You have synergies. You can use your plastic businesses across multiple lines. Why would it make sense for a private equity group if it doesn't make sense for you?
I think there's two things a private equity group can do. The first one is it's an industry that doesn't need to be AAA rated. So you can take on a lot more leverage than we'd be willing to take on in the business. The second thing is that it's become a volatile business. In other words, we like businesses where good management is more important than good luck. The team goes to sleep one night and benzene's $1. They wake up the next day and it's $4. They had nothing to do with that. That's hundreds of millions of dollars profit out the window. Now, that's going to be $1 again someday. So a private equity guy says, look, I can take it and hide it for a while. I can do other things to it, and I'll get my jackpot someday. That's a tough business for us. We can manage cyclicality. The volatility is a little bit different in our regard. And in the end, we weren't going to invest to be a consolidator. And people in private equity may say, hey, there's 6 different pieces we have. We can put GE's plastics business with it and create a better whole. And I think that's, for a lot of the private equity guys that are most interested in our plastics business are ones that already have chemical assets where we've got really, I'd say, a premier plastics company that they can put in it with a great management team and make 1 + 1 = 3 in a way we can't.